So this is Friday, October 2nd, the simple interest worksheet. I didn't get the notes. I'm going to put the formula and everything up at the top of this page. So when we talk about interest, it's an extra amount of money. So like when you take out a loan at a bank, if you want to buy a car or a house, most people don't have enough money to just buy a $30,000 car or a $200,000 house. So we take out loans, and for the bank to be able to make money on that, they can't just give us the money and hope that we'll pay it back. So that's why we have interest. They charge interest on your loan so then they can make some money in the meantime. It's like an extra fee almost, just for borrowing their money. And the formula that we use to solve simple interest looks like this. So it's interest equals P, which is the principal or the price, that's the dollar sign, times R, or the rate. In your problems, it looks like a percent, and times the time in years. Okay, so we've got the money, that's the percent. However, before we can use that rate or the percent, we have to turn it into a decimal, and then the time in years. And anytime you have letters bumped up next to each other like that, it means we're multiplying all of these things together. And the I is the interest. So that's going to be part of your answers. So we're calculating the simple interest, but we're also calculating the total amount. And so to do that, all you have to do for the total is take your interest that you solve after you use that formula and add it back to your original principal amount. So on number 1, for example, and first of all, what I would do, honestly, just so you don't forget, all of these percents here need to be turned into decimals and all the way down the page and the back side of the page. So to turn a percent into a decimal, you just take that number and divide it by 100. So if it helps, maybe you need to make a note on your page, divide by 100 for every single one. For all the, divide by 100. So, because that's the thing, if you're gonna miss the problem, it's probably because you wrote the rate down wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this one. So 4 divided by 100 is 0.04. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that out, and I'm gonna put 0. Well, you don't have to do the 0. I don't know why I did that. Okay, now I'm gonna write down my formula. PRT. So my interest is going to be, the principal amount is my dollar sign. So I've got 34,100 times the rate. So times 0.04 times the time. So I've got 34,100 times 0.04, and you can do this all together in the calculator, times 3. And so when I do that, I get 4,092. I'm not going to worry about commas, especially in Schoology. You don't put commas or anything. Okay, so this is my interest. That's part 1. Now to get my total, I'm going to take that interest that I just earned, 4,092, and add it to the original amount. So adding it to 34,100. And I get 38,192. I just said don't worry about decimals, and then I did it. Okay, so I get 98,192. Okay, so there are my 2 answers. That's how it will look in Schoology. You'll just have 2 blanks, and that's where you're going to put those. Put your interest first, that's the smaller number, and then the total second. I'm going to look at a more difficult one. Let's look at number 7. A lot of people have missed this today because they see the decimal and they think they're done. But there's a percent sign at the end, so it's not actually in decimal form yet. So 4.8 divided by 100 is 0.04 2.48. So I'm going to label my parts. I've got the principal or the price, I've got the rate, and I've got the time. Okay, so I'm going to write the formula down. I equals PRT, and then I'm going to plug in the 43,800 times the rate, 0.48, times the time, which is 2. So I'm going to put all of this together in the calculator. 43,800 times point. Oh, see what I did? See what I did? Oh my gosh. Already griped at kids about this today, and I just did the same thing. 0.048. Oh my gosh. Okay, times 0.048 because we divided it by 100, and times 2. So that gives me 4,204.8. Okay, so that's one of my answers. Now I need the total, so I'm going to take that interest, so this is the extra we're going to have to pay, add it to the original loan amount, or whatever that might be, 43,800. So let's take that 42.04 plus 43,800, and we get 48,004.8. Okay, pretty simple. Just remember the main thing is to turn these, divide all of these by 100, so you've got your decimal. On the back, same thing, just because this is in a decimal right now, it still has a percent at the end, so it's not actually in decimal form yet. So that is 0. Oh my gosh, I almost did it again. 0.082 is your rate. You got your principal, your rate, and your time in years. So for number 9, same thing. You're going to divide this by 100. 10.5 divided by 100 is 0.105. And this years, all we're going to do is we're going to turn that into a decimal. So 1 divided by 4, or 1/4, is 0.25. So these are the numbers that you're going to use. Multiply those by each other. Make sure you get your interest and the total. Always add it back. Oh my gosh. Okay. Same thing on number 10, 5.9. Divided by 100, we get 0.059. And for the years, it's going to be, the 3/4 will be a decimal, which is 0.75. So altogether, it's 2.75. So we want to take the P, the R, and the T and multiply all of these together. Make sure you're finding the interest. So that's what you get when you multiply all three. And the total, so what you get when you add the interest back to your original amount. 11 and 12, you're just solving. Make sure that you box in your signs that come before the numbers so you're aware of negatives so you don't get those confused. And 13 and 14 are true, false. When converting percents to decimals, you divide by 10. In the following equation, 8 is a positive number. 15, per, and every are the only keywords to look for in word problems. So are those true or false?